Hi, it's Lee Goldstein from thenewstraders.com. And on a tip from one of our members, Colin, I decided to test the 30-year tips auction. It takes place in 4 minutes. It's a 1 p.m. auction. And we're going to do it like we do the bond auction. We're going to set the strategy up the same way. I'm looking for two bracket. I'm looking for an entry time of 13:01:30, just like we do on the bonds. And I'm looking for two targets, two positions, 3 ticks and 7 ticks. Let's go 6. It doesn't seem like it's going to move very much. I'll do a stop of 4, and I'm not going to use trailing stops, just a small, simple trade. Testing it, not using real money, have no idea. This is a 4-month report. That's how often it comes out. So let's see what happens. Going to put my clock on, test the time with time.is. You do everything the same way with a test
You've
that
got mail.
that you would do in real life trading real live money. If you test with 100 contracts and you don't trade 100 contracts, what point is that giving you? What's it getting you? Nothing. So go to time.is and check your time normally, just like you would in a real live trade. Everything you do is exactly like a real live trade. Otherwise, the test is useless. Okay, I got about 5 minutes. We'll be back at the time of the trade. Okay, so normally we would look at 13:01:30, but we don't know this trade. So I'm going to put it on. I'm going to look a half hour, a half 30 seconds before the trade is actually going to take place in case it's going to work at exactly the time of the report. Normally our bond trades we put on at 13:01:30, but I'll keep my cursor at the current bond price to see if the movement takes place at exactly 1 p.m. Because it might be that it's not a 13:01:30 trade. See, look, right now we had 1 tick of movement at 1 o'clock. So we're going to watch it for another minute and a half and see where the movement occurs. That's what we don't know. And those are the things you have to test. When you're doing tests, you have to think about reports that are similar to it. If it's a report you've never tested before, if it's a report that only happens every 4 months, then you have to use a little bit of thinking outside the box to test it. You have to use a little creativity, right? And that's the beauty and fun of news trading. You're always thinking outside the box. You're always trying to think with creativity. And that's one of the fun things. It's so much fun trading the news. So now we're at 13, almost 13:01. We would usually wait from 13:01:30 until 13:02 and 10 seconds. So I think we'll do 13:02 and 45 seconds. How's that? We'll give it 45 seconds to pop or do something. And it looks to me like the move certainly isn't taking place right at 1 o'clock. And that's holding steady with the way the regular 7-year, 10-year, and 30-year bond trades seem to work. Here's where we're going to put on our orders. 13:01:30, 2 seconds now. 1.
Order
2.
pending.
There's our orders. Brackets of 2. We'll give it 45 seconds for a trade to take place. If nothing happens, then
Order
look
pending.
at that. It filled, but it simmed, so it might not have barely even filled that. Reversed immediately on the fill, went the other way.
Order
I have a
filled.
4-tick stop. So there was a move. It looks like that it might be tradable. What I would say is you probably should use a 3-tick bracket. I used a 2. A 3-tick bracket definitely would have kept us safe. Maybe not, because look, it popped all the way. Nope, that was the 2-tick bracket. And then possibly it would have filled us correctly on the short side if we use the right bracket. Either way, right now, there's not a whole heck of a lot of movement. I'll give it 30 more, 45 more. Maybe I'll give it another minute, and we'll see if there's much movement. I don't see much movement. You could see the results are not on investing.com. The actual results are not there. Let's find it at 1 o'clock, not at 4. 13-year tips auction, no news. So it looks like it would have been a short trade. The bracket was too small. I think if the bracket was a 3, we would have gotten brought in on the right side. I think it would be a trade, possibly a tradable trade. It could be that this week the markets are so volatile with bonds that some of the small reports that we don't normally do with bonds are working this week, or they're working in volatile markets. And that's something to know. You might want to take some trades when markets are volatile and pass some trades when markets are more normal. So this is Lee Goldstein from thenewstraders.com, TNT, the makers of JOBB software, testing the 30-year tips auction. Even though we didn't make money on this trade, it looks like it might have worked at 1301.30, but with a slightly bigger bracket, a bracket of 3, so we didn't get pulled in on the incorrect side of the trade. But look at the reverse. You didn't have much movement, not a whole heck of a lot of ticks. 31 down to 26. 5 ticks, enough for a profit for bonds. They're 31 and a quarter per tick. So it looks like it might have been worth trading. Might have been able to make a couple of bucks on it. Lee Goldstein signing out. We'll see you in the trade room.